All right, let me see what he says. Jubbed up. When is this video? When did this come out? January 9th? Okay, so this is pretty new.
I'm inside. I gotta come out the backside. Summit, where are you?
Hold on. I'm gonna get an angle on these guys.
It might push me, Immercom.
One down.
Nice shots.
Give me a sec. Give me a sec. I'm healing.
Yeah, I mean, he got peekers so fucking hard there around the end. He even pre-fired it knowing he was going to get peekered, and that is probably his frustration. I mean, listen, he comes from CS, man. He comes from CS. He has infinitely higher standards for the idea of being able to hold an angle successfully. You know what I mean? It's just ass otherwise. It's just fucking ass, dude.
He taps me, bro. Oh my god, dude. The peeking in this game is so overpowered. It's
broken. It's broken as shit, and that's why this game will never be competitive. That's why not a single motherfucker out there should ever sit there and jerk each other off about being good at Escape from Tarkov. All that means is that you're hyper aggressive. You've learned to play hyper aggressive and be able to push every single advantage that you can, which ultimately the biggest advantage in the game by a long shot is desync, right? So you just learn how to use desync to your advantage. A broken mechanic of the game is what makes you good. Not one person should be stroking themselves over the quality of their Tarkov PvP. You know what I mean? Not a single person. It's a broken game, and that's okay. You know what I mean? We understand it. You play it. You have to learn to play it for other reasons, right? You have to learn to play it for other reasons, because if you don't, you're going to be very disappointed for a very long time, because I truly don't think that this issue is ever going to change. I think the fact that this was built on Unity engine and a multiplayer experience is never going to get better. If anything, it's going to get worse with the future ideals for the game of linking maps together or increasing player numbers per map, which are already like minuscule. Or, hey, how about bringing scavs back? How do you think that's going to impact the performance of the servers in the netcode? There's already very few players per map, and there's almost zero scavs at all times. And it's still ass. It's still ass. I don't foresee it getting better. I'm not hopeful about it. Instead, what I've learned to do is play the game for other reasons. Right? That's all you can do, man. And until you adopt that mentality, you're gonna be bummed out. What else does some say?
It's disgusting. He just appears basically out almost like he just, oh my god, that's crazy to me. No way.
I hit that guy
That makes no sense to me, dude. That makes no sense to me.
There's no way to make it make sense, some. It's just like, that's the state of the game, right? Like, this is the problem, is like, you see all these people saying cheater. This alleviates the responsibility from battle state games to do something. You think like, if people came together and realized what the real issue was, which is the servers. And that's the same reason that I just put out a video of me preaching about, no, sound is not broken in this game. It's not like the sound engineer's fault. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not on him, right? The sound in this game is really good. There's no vertical audio, but let's pretend there is for a second and just call it good, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's its one downfall. And eventually, I think we'll get something along those lines. But the real issue is the servers. And the server doesn't transmit the sound to you fast enough. So people push you and kill you, and then you never hear their footsteps. Because their ability to transmit data to the server and the server to you is not fast enough to give you the information in time before you're dead. You don't get it. You literally don't receive it. And that is only the shitty server's fault. So when people say the sound needs to be fixed in Escape from Tarkov, they're alleviating the responsibility of battle state to provide servers that don't suck massive wiener. And here we are, right? Watching Summit get killed by terrible peeker advantage desync, right? And here we are, a ton of people just saying hacker, right? Hacker, cheater, speed hacker, by the way. No, that guy's not cheating. He's not cheating at all. On his screen, he peeks out. He kills Summit in that order. On Summit's screen, Summit dies and he never sees him peek out because the servers suck. And when people don't understand that, when they don't do like their due diligence before claiming something here, like a reason for anything that's broken in the game, where they don't understand why. What's the core issue? Until they do, and then they're super vocal about it, super fucking vocal about it to Battle State Games, it will never change. So every time you make an excuse for something that isn't specifically, hey, these servers suck, you're just making this process of these servers getting upgraded take longer. It's just the truth of the matter, man. It's brutal, but it's true. It's absolutely brutal.
That makes no sense, chat. I have such a good hold.
Cheater, hacker, cheater, report them. You guys are dumb for calling hacker. Can somebody gift a subscription to our channel, to Zence TV? ZENCE-TV. Can somebody like GIF the job to this guy right now? Thank you. If you guys don't, just remind me and I'll do it myself.
Hold on.
I'm dead ass serious.
Flies out, instant headshots me. Battle State. I've never played a game. Listen, your game is the best, but I've never played a game with fishier kills, man. It's so fucking stupid.
Jubbed up.
You don't know who the fuck's cheating or just who the fuck hit a beautiful shot. It's a fucking joke in this game. Can you guys fix your goddamn peeker's advantage? That's a fucking joke.
Summit understands. Like, that's a huge core part of it, right?
I might as well not even see him for the first fucking initial peek. You might as well be a goddamn ghost and then appear on a corner.
No shit.
That's how fucking much time you have to react.
Yep. It's insane. Like we're talking like seconds sometimes. Sometimes it's literally seconds. Not just like partial seconds. It's wild.
On a goddamn
Thank you for gifting the job to Zence TV. Thank you. I appreciate it.
peek like that. Jesus fuck, man. That guy should never win that fucking fight.
Never should win the fight, right? Again, Summit comes from a game with good netcode, right? Really good netcode. We're talking 128 tick servers, right? And he sits there and he holds a fucking angle in CS and some guy peeks into it without using utility first. He doesn't flash him off the angle. The person holding the angle should always win that fight, assuming that two people are equal skill level. The person holding the angle should always win. And that is why utility exists in these games. That's why you molly people off angles. You throw the flash, right? To get yourself out, because otherwise you just get bodied over and over and over again. It's wild, man. It's wild.
How many are left?
Jubbed up.
I don't even think that guy was cheating.
My fucking man. Good guy Summit, bro. My fucking man, bro. He gets it, man. He knows that he knows what the issue is. He knows what the issue is.
I think their servers.
You can tell how much Mark cares about this topic. He clearly loves this game. No bullshit, though. Like, it shakes me to my core because I do love this game. I do. And I know what it can be. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not big to sit here and talk about, like, the potential of games. I learned that mistake all the way back in DayZ Standalone. You know what I mean? I learned that mistake a long time ago. Then I learned it with PUBG. And now here we are with Escape from Tarkov. I'm just saying, jubbed up. If they just fixed, if they just improved netcode and they improved the servers, right? Whether that means paying for better servers, using a different provider, or bringing in some like ringer to like fix your netcode, right? If they just could figure out one of those routes, so many more people would play this game regularly. Because what happens right now is a wipe occurs, right? A wipe occurs. People come back because they've desalinated, right? They've desalinated. They're ready to play again. They're ready to check out all the new shit. And then within 2 weeks of just so many people playing and the servers being so inundated, they're frustrated as a mug. And you see this massive drop off that should not exist every single wipe cycle. It shouldn't exist. It's because people are frustrated by the bullshit and they realize, hey, this hasn't gotten any better. I've checked out the new stuff. I'm still super frustrated by most of the fights. I'll check it out again next time. We'll see you in the next 8 months when we get another wipe. Smile. Because that was the time between the last two.
in this game fucking suck. I think their netcode in this game fucking sucks.
No shit.
And that just allows you not to hold corners as much because people just swing around them, and you probably only see them on your screen for like a 1/10 of a second, but they're probably full swinging and seeing you on their screen for a full fucking second.
My fucking man, bro. Love Summit, dude. Love Summit.
Fix that shit, man.
Fix that shit.
It's not even like you have an excuse like it's in every game. It's not nearly as bad in any other game.
Any other game, any other shooter with this would be literally crucified. The only reason Tarkov isn't crucified is because it's such an overly complicated game that's such a high learning curve that people don't know half the time why they are dying. If it was a basic, dumbed down, simplified game, like say you're playing COD, and I'm not throwing shots, it's just a different thing. You know what I mean? It's just literally a different kind of game. If you're playing COD and that shit's happening, the entire community is burning your fucking house down, dude. They are. You know what I mean? Because they know, they understand, they can pinpoint the problem, right? It's way harder. You have to have a decent... You have to be decently deep into this game to understand the issue, right? To a point where not a ton of people are. Not enough to be vocal. Not enough to make change. Which is the most frustrating part, which is why I try to talk about this as often as possible.
Yours is the worst.
I'll notice.
That's fucking dumb that I die like that. That guy should have never won that fight. No chance he swings in that corner and kills me right there. No chance. Unless he's looking at me on his screen a full second longer than he's looking at me, bro. There's just...
And I could tell instantly what he was going to be upset about, right? Because he's clearly so frustrated that he pre-fired that peek knowing that that guy was going to peek or advantage the shit out of him, and he still lost. And I could instantly see the palpable frustration. That is brutal, man. That shit shakes me to my core. Frustrating, because I'm right there.
The peeker's advantage of this game is a joke. I don't want to hold corners anymore.
You can't hold corners anymore. It's a terrible plan to hold corners, which is just absurd, right? Like, that's absurd. That's your real estate. In any other game, that is your real estate that you stake claim to, and you should be able to hold down. Anyway, that's where I'm at. It needs to be fixed. It affects so many aspects of this game that I love, and it is the core reason why shit is broken. It's the core reason behind so many complaints from individuals in this game. And you know, again, I am frustrated, and I'm passionate about it because it matters to me. It's as simple as that. I recognize it, and until we come together as a community, right? And we're able to stop creating excuses for certain issues or trying to like theory craft what could be causing this or that. Think about it. 90% of the time, servers. That's it. There's nothing more to think about. So until we have this like cogent push to battle state.
Relax. Relax.
I can't relax. I can't relax. Matters too much, man. I can't relax. Until we have a cogent push to battle state to explain, hey, like this has to change. I don't see it happening. So think about it. The next time you want to complain about somebody cheating or the sound not working, just think about it, man. Complain about the right thing. For me, for the sake of the game, or for the future of, you know, what this game can be. So we mark that, and we put that shit on the tube, and hopefully make some difference. Jubbed up. Smile. It's nice that you can sit and be objective about it like you are. If only other streamer players could do the same instead of crying cheat every time they die. Honestly, bro, every single one of the people that I associate myself with for streamers, like, and they all are like main Escape from Tarkov players, none of them do it. I think you're just watching the wrong people, Budgie. There's a huge core of Escape from Tarkov players who know the issue. They know the deal. They don't complain. They just, you know, they run it back. Run it back. Unlucky. Unlucky, bad server, run it back. You know? There's a lot of broadcasters who feel that way and do behave like that. I think you're just watching the wrong people, man. Keep looking. There's a lot of great, like, if I'm not your cup of tea either, I guarantee there's others out there, right, that have the same philosophy. I'm not like, that's not a rarity. You know what I mean? Not in this category. But that's hard too, man, and that's a frustrating thing. So Shell Shock says, I know I'm bad at the game and I blame myself, not the servers or hackers, LMAO. But here's the fucked up part. It is damn near impossible for somebody who blames themselves, right, as they should in almost every other game, right? If you die, it's probably your fault. What could you have done differently? And you start to analyze this situation about, okay, I could have done this, in an attempt to get better, when in reality, you probably died to just some fucked up server. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard for a player who's literally doing their best to improve, right? And be self-critical and introspective about why they are having all of these deaths. Like, how the hell do you get better? Ow! It's fucking brutal, man. Yeah, labs, your you know, your odds increase significantly to actually run into a cheater. But again, here's the thing. Labs is one of those servers. So what we figured out a long ass time ago is when things spawn into the game, the server struggles. And that's typically when you would see the biggest amount of desync. You used to know exactly when scavs are spawning in because you would see them visually fly into the map. You would watch them in the sky, like getting laser beamed down by fucking aliens. You would see them. They would flash they would spawn into the very middle of the map, up in the goddamn sky, and then they would get laser beam teleported to their location. And when that would happen, you would notice legitimate hiccups or freezes or desync in the server. Always. So now they created a map called Labs, where when you hit an extract, it forces scavs to spawn. It's spawning them regularly throughout the entire raid, or at least like the beginning portion, like, which is the significant amount of the raid for everybody involved, because everyone's rushing the same areas to get the same loot. And then you wonder why, regardless of whether or not there was just a ban wave, everyone's like, yeah, Labs is bullshit, bro. I get cheated against constantly there. It's the only map that like has a mechanic that works like that. I think the Labs cheater situation is highly exacerbated by, you know what I mean? By that mechanic. It just doesn't feel good, man. It's just such a bad idea. Like, things like that, you're just like, why? You know this is a core issue of your game. So why do you have this thing where a player can literally hit a button and then the server's gonna lag for like the next who knows how long? It's frustrating, bro. Mark's brain is so huge. Listen up, chat. It's not me being smart. It's me paying attention and having played this game in every step so I can see, like, if I didn't see the server specifically fucking up when I would see these, like, you know, alien teleporting scavs, which no longer exists, right? It doesn't work that way anymore, or they do it in a more subtle way, then I wouldn't know as well, right? It's just I've been through the process, and it feels obvious to me, but I also have to be careful and understand that it's way less obvious to newer players. All of this is way less obvious to newer players. And the problem is that the game is so insanely popular right now, right? It has so many recent new players that none of them can wrap their head around what the real problems are. And that's why you see so much dumb shit in the chat, right? That's why you see so much dumb shit on Reddit. And people just agreeing with each other because so many new players, like the mass is new players, not people who have been playing since January 2017, you know? Yeah, the static loot is mildly game ruining, but hey ho, what are you gonna do? Static loot means like, okay, we go to the resort, right? I always use the resort for this example. So static loot exists on every server, right? By static loot, I mean to loot the resort effectively, all you need is like 6 keys, 7 keys maybe. Listen, I'm not a looter. I don't really know how many, but I'm just throwing a number out there, right? For an example, you need a certain number of keys and you have to hit those rooms. And once you're done hitting those exact rooms out of like the fucking 50 rooms that are in the resort, you leave. And you already got all the best stuff. You already got all the best stuff because those rooms are where the good shit spawns. These are the LEDX spawns. These are the high value, high priority loot rooms. And then I leave. And that allows motherfuckers with no gear on them, who because of the current weight system move way faster, right? Way faster to get in and get out as quickly as possible and hit specific rooms and leave. The way it should work is you can still have the resort be a hot spot for loot. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's important to have really cool areas for fights, have all the best loot, right? Because that's what makes the game fun, is fighting in these dope areas that are unique like the resort. But the difference is in a dynamic loot system is that if you want all the best loot, you got to find it, bro. You have to unlock, you have to have all the keys, right? You have to bring as many keys as you can in for the resort. And then you have to unlock all the doors and search all the goddamn rooms because the loot in a dynamic loot system would be spread out among all the rooms. So that means that if you are there to loot, you're going to have to stay there longer to get better shit. And that means you're going to have to fight somebody. Odds are very high that you're going to have to fight somebody while you check room after room after room. That should be the case for every map. Every map. You can still have these like hot zones, but a dynamic loot system would force somebody to actually have to participate in the server, in the game, and be a player rather than this passive person that counts against the total number of players that you're going to run into, right? Because the number of people that are doing this in every raid is not low. It's not low. And every single one that's doing that is one less person that you have the opportunity to enjoy your fight against. Yeah, it's just, it just ruins the enjoyability of the game for everybody else. Thoughts and feelings, by the way. Maybe if you guys keep bringing up all these topics, I'll never boot the game, bro. I'll sit here and I'll talk about this game all morning. Say I won't.